Hey, what's up, everyone? What's going on? Welcome into another episode of The Scouts Radar. I'm with three of the most well-renowned, best scouts in the state of Texas. And then you just got me, Ben Spicer here.
It's showtime.
Esteemed panel of three.
Can't do it without showtime, baby.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys. Everyone knows who you are already, but go ahead. Tell everyone who you are.
Man, Marc Henry on the Mark Sports, Top Texas Prospects. Prep Red Zone Texas, man. I'm doing a little bit of everything, baby. Let's go.
I'm just trying to be like them, y'all. R.L. Martin, 2MGE, representing True Exposure as well. So I'm just here, dog. I'm trying to be like them.
That's exactly my thoughts, man. It's Mike Morris, y'all. 2MGE and True Exposure.
I know Mike has something he wants to talk about, but before we start, raise your hand if your college football team is 1-0.
I'll raise my fingers. How about that?
I got too many kids watching this show because I would give you a finger.
Yeah, you don't want that one.
Hey man, I'm sorry.
Look at my face.
But
I'm
to say this though, ACC all the way around had a horrible day. ACC all the way around had a horrible weekend.
You know what the ACC stands for, right? It's the Almost Competitive Conference.
That's exactly what they look like. Exactly what man.
Hey, that's a good one, man.
Lost. Seminoles are losing. Bro.
Clemson got smashed, I heard, too.
They got smashed, bro.
Hey, but you know what, though? So, with DJ Uiagalelei, him and JT Daniels, they've known each other since they were like 5th and 6th grade years old. So, they've grown up with each other. Great competitive game. There's a huge gap from last year to this year, and it's not just with the quarterbacks over at Clemson. Because DJ did great when he was running as a backup to Trevor. So it wasn't so much the quarterback. It was a lot of the skill positions wasn't firing off on the same cylinders, man. It was a little rough, but they'll get better.
They was firing off on that quarterback though. They was firing off on him. They had him folded up like a goddamn xylophone.
Is he rocking? Is he rocking back and forth?
I'm saying, bro. I'm just saying they was firing off on him, bro. He was folded up, boy.
Oh no! What is you doing, baby?
Hey, what's funny is I'm talking to y'all, and we recorded this on Sunday. It's gonna air on Tuesday. My team that I'm repping today, I'm a Florida fan, but I went to Louisville. They ain't played yet. They play tomorrow. So I'm talking all this mess to y'all, and my Cardinals might still lose. So in hindsight, y'all might get the last laugh when it's all said and done.
We'll have to see. Hey, I'll be watching this on Tuesday, so I can make sure I text you.
Yeah, I had to get that little slip in on the ACC. They're going to rebound, though. Obviously, they've had a lot of success.
I hope so.
But yeah, Mike, I know it was something that you were eager to discuss before we drop our names this week, so go ahead.
Yeah, so we had we kind of ran the gauntlet this week, right? We had a game on Thursday, on Friday, and on Saturday. So let's talk about the Thursday game, right? We're from the San Antonio area, so we drove 2.5 hours to the Corpus Christi area. We went to go watch Corpus Christi Miller take on the Vets, right? Now, remember, last year, you had Andrew Body and you had Carter Senefit. Opposite sides, both QB1. There's a huge gap, right? We noticed that when we went there. We found a couple kids to keep an eye on, but the kids we really want to go see is where the problems came in. And let me elaborate a little bit on that. Athletes, you never know who's watching you. You never know when they're watching you. And for that, you have to have the mindset that if you want to take it to the next level in your gameplay, and let's say you really want D1, you check all the boxes to be D1, and you're taking plays off, man, shame on you, number one. You get out there, and everybody's got the attention on you because they want to come see you. There was a photographer out there. I'm not going to name who he was. Great friend of ours. He was hired to go get pics strictly of O-line, D-line. Now, let me tell you, he didn't stay the whole game. Why? Because he's not going to take pictures of linemen standing around. And that's what happened. You're out there and you're owning the competition, and you did it the first quarter. I'm not going to mention the kid's name. Killing the competition first quarter. And I'm bragging I'm telling RL, man, check this kid out. You got to watch this. Second quarter comes up. Watch this kid. Every play after that, he's just watching the game go by. No more pressure, no nothing. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm taking him off my list. He's no longer going to be in contention for player of the game. And I just got tired of watching. Didn't even look at his side anymore and just kind of looked over. Now flip it. Skill position players who we brag about. Some we brag about on the show. We get there and we see this kid and the ball's not directed to him. He's lazy. Missing blocks. Doesn't even attempt to block. And that kid that he's supposed to block winds up making the tackles. And he winds up being on a highlight. Come on, guys. Y'all got to be better than this. If this is something y'all want and you truly want to take it to the next level, you cannot afford to take plays off. Think about that every time in your workouts. Stop taking reps off. When you're in the classroom and you just study book, your academics, stop taking the breaks. If you want to be the best, you have to act like the best. And it's got to be 100% effort. Because if not, the next kid coming up has got the more effort than you. Trust me, watch what happens. Watch what happens. Your stock starts going lower and lower and lower while their stock starts to rise. I was very disappointed in the two teams that we saw. And I'm just going to tell you, Miller, Vets, y'all got to get better. You cannot afford to take those plays off. RL, you got anything you want to add to that?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all, brother. I'm telling you, I was so disappointed.
Well, I'll take a small bit of that, Mike, and put it in a professional setting. Everybody who's been in the professional world, besides what we do, your resume speaks for itself. And the film, as an old football adage, the eye in the sky don't lie. So whatever you put on tape, that's your resume. If you want that to be that you're a rugged player or you speak out, whatever you put on tape, that's what's going to be your resume. And your resume follows you as well as your reputation. So remember that as well. That's a key thing that scouts look at as well.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes is, I don't know the exact verbiage, so I guess it's not one of my favorite quotes, but basically it's character is who you are when no one's watching. I think that's a huge testament not only on the field but off the field. Man, we're off to an intense start here on the fourth episode of
Scouts Radar.
Scouts
talk.
That's Scouts talk. About when Scouts talk.
That's what we do. We talk about it.
Scouts that I know, we talk about it, good or bad. And actually, the athlete I'm going to talk about tonight, I got some great things to say about this kid, but I also got some things I want him to work on. And so I would be doing a disservice to any of these kids if I wasn't honest with them. Bitter truth before sweet lies, right? I'm not going to be rude about it, but I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing either. So you're going to hear it exactly like it's got to come out.
Well, hey, guys, let's jump right into it and get started. We cut down the list a little bit because we're going to format the show a little differently. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the show. We're going to talk about some games and also have some mentions of some kids we want to throw in here. But our main core of players will start now with Howard Sampson out of Humble.
This kid, all right, you can't miss him, right? 6'7", 326. I mean, that's D1 body, right? Now, remember what I said coming into this thing. The kid has got an incredible base, right? Super strong, super dependable. And the good thing about having a lineman like this, the one thing I like the most about him is he doesn't get winded easy. So he's able to run downfield, get set, do it again, run downfield, get set, do it again. He's got that tempo in him, which is good. Now, I also said that there's a couple of things I want to talk about that I think he needs to work on if he wants to be D1 or even D2 caliber. He's got to work on his footwork. A lineman who doesn't work on his footwork can't be trusted when he's got to be required to move, right? Not just on pulls, things like that, but literally taking the block to the next level and following and having somebody that his running back can depend on. Also, he's got to be able to stay low, right? Being a big man, it's hard to stay low, right? You're 6'7", 326. We get it. It's difficult to stay low, but low man wins all the time. He's got to stay low, and he has a tendency to want to predict his opponent. What I mean by that is you see all the time when these guys get in the trenches, and they may have decent hands, but as soon as they lock up, they want to lower the head and kind of headbutt in. Well, if you're anticipating what that guy's going to do and you're low on your head and he moves the opposite direction, by the time you pick your head up, he ain't even near you. So I've seen a couple clips like that. I don't think it's a consistency thing with him. I just think that when you're 6'7", 326, there's not going to be many kids in front of you that are 6'7", 326 to match. So he relies on those things. That's what I'm talking about. Don't take plays off, right? You got to be dependable and you got to be consistent. Consistency is key when it comes to the lineman position, defense or offense.
I took a look at his film as well. Everything that Mike is saying is correct. If he gets in, and that's one good thing about him though. He did run down the field. He come back, get set up. Wasn't really winded. But in that working on that part, you've got to put that same work that you put in the sprints. You got to put that into your footwork. That's the biggest thing at his size. Once he drives on you and once he's that big and he leans on you, yeah, somebody's going to move. But the biggest thing that I would point out on him is to work on that footwork. You have the frame to be a D1 prospect. But what will keep you from being a D1 prospect is your technique. Work on that, and he still has time to do it. So work on that, and I definitely agree with Mike on the good things and those things he needs to work on. He'll be there. He's a name we will watch and see what's going to happen.
Yeah, Mike's right on some of the things that Howard needs to work on. Howard Sampson, 6'7", 326. But sometimes when you run into those 6'7", the problem you run into consistently with those guys 6'7", 6'8", is they just don't have the hip bend to get down to those lower guys.
Yeah.
And that's what he seems to struggle with. If he's not, if a guy's not lined right up in front of him where he gets his paws on him, he's going to take him wherever he wants. But if he gets to a guy that's bendy, somebody that can get around and get deep, like, a shorter guy, say a shorter DN is 6'1", 6'2", that has a little flexibility, he'll go right by him because he's trying to go where he is instead of where he's going. And that's taking the path on his pass rush. Now, he'll maul you. And I like that about it. A lot of the linemen we've been talking about are maulers and guys that second level, he's great at those things. You can tell that maybe he had some basketball background or something just because he moves well in space in that square. In his square, he's great. But what we're talking about, the things, that Mike mentioned to piggyback on that. And what I saw looking at the tape is just his hip bend. If he gets better at that, I talk to guys about even kickers and stuff like that. Flexibility you want. Yoga is great for that. Something that you want to do to, increase flexibility, Pilates, things like that. Don't sleep on those things. If you guys know, Herschel Walker did ballet. Yeah. It made him super flexible, natural. He was naturally gifted, but ballet put that extra flexibility in his hips and, quad area. So, lots of stretching and things like that. But, he's such a big guy. He's going to get that look at first. But when, Scott start looking at the tape, you'll see those little things. And that's what we're here to provide is just a scout's point of view about these guys. They're on the radar because they're good. But, we wouldn't be doing the due diligence, like Mike said, if we don't give you some tidbits of things you need to improve on. And, so the tape says that he's definitely a Division I type player. But here's the thing. When he gets there, is he going to put in the work to correct and tighten up those little things to be a starter?
He mentioned yoga. I've been doing a little yoga myself. I think I could run probably about a 6'5", 40 right now.
Hey, man, even with the yoga and Pilates, there's something about you're not supposed to be able to look at the back of your own knee. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good point. Next up, we've got John Raybuck out of Carem.
This is the game that I had a chance to do play-by-play at VipeFlowSports.com. I had a chance to talk to the coaching staff with Carem, and Coach Sean Riley. This was the first guy that he's mentioned. He's in the sophomore class, about 6'1", 195. Now, in private school sector, these size schools that I was able to watch, Grace Prep Academy in Arlington, which I was more familiar with. But Carem definitely has a stud in Mr. Raybuck. Jumped off at me. The size of the guy when you're on the field doesn't do justice.
Big one.
He's a big one. He's a big one. I would say, he kind of reminds me of a poor man's Eddie George right now at this time. Just a long strider, but quick. He's able to get in the open field and, he hurdled a couple of defenders. He also had an 85-yard kickoff return, which showed his speed. He was able to get loose. So he made one cut and he's a north-south runner. He doesn't run side to side. He's north-south. He gets up and he gets in there. Now he jumps on the defensive side. He plays linebacker. He flows side to side very well. caused the fumble. His team, the outcome wasn't what they wanted, but this was his second week of over 100 yards, and he's a young guy, class of 2024. So he's got some schools looking at him. Coach Riley mentioned several FBS schools that were looking at him, and he's definitely the man on that team, and he's a leader. And I was very impressed with his play. The only thing that I would say that he would need to work on is sometimes he gets a little high when he comes through the hole. But your taller backs, that's just something that you have to learn. We call it in the game getting skinny, and then you get big when you get in the open field. So that would be the only thing that I would tell John to work on. But he was also my epic player of the week. He was on the Honor Your Mark show today, and that'll be out probably Tuesday, Wednesday. We had a great conversation, so check that out as well. But well-spoken kid. Interesting thing about him is he spent some time in New York. His family moved to New York. They lived in Flower Mound. So he admits that New York football was not the same level as Texas football. He was glad to get back to Texas, but definitely one you want to put on the scouts radar because he's young, 2024. He's got a couple more years to go by the time we'll be talking about this guy possibly being, on Saturdays.
The thing about John that I noticed, he's a hard runner. His decision making when he hits the holes is really good, especially coming from the class that he's in, right? There's just a couple of intangibles he's gonna have to change, and I think a good trainer, even his running back coach at a high school, can teach him these things. But hand placement when he grabs the ball, right? That's a big factor. Especially him playing linebacker, he knows what to do when he's a linebacker coming out of running back. He needs to take those same things into consideration when he's running the ball because when he hits the hole, that ball's got to go to the outside, right? He's taking it back to the inside, and playing linebacker, you're swiping at that ball easy. So little tendencies like that that can change you from being hey, this kid's dependable 100% of the time to he's a great runner, but he fumbles a lot. You know what I mean? So you gotta take those things into consideration. I think the kid's got a bright future. He's just got to be able to hone those little skills.
If he continues to work, and like you said, with his running back coach or his trainer, this kid, I'm sorry, man, 6'1", 6'2", whatever he may be, and he's the type of runner that I like. But like Mark said, and you hit it right on the head from what I saw from his film, he is a downhill runner. He makes that one cut, he gets down, next he make another cut. Nothing running sideline to sideline. I'm straight business. I'm going straight downhill. And I did notice that, Mark, and I'm glad you brought it up. Once he gets past that first wave, or once he's in that hole to get to that second wave, he pops up. And I'm telling you, if he at his size can learn to lower them shoulders and get skinny, going through those holes with that power that he has, he's definitely somebody we're gonna be talking about in the next couple of years, bro. For real.
It takes more than one defender to get him down. He broke multiple tackles. It's just in this particular game, Grace Prep had a few more guys that could keep up, and some turnovers and some penalties. As a team, but John Raybuck stood out, and that's why he's on the scouts radar this week.
I don't see many people, especially in that game, that was gonna bring him down just with an arm tackle. Not as hard as he runs, even though standing straight up. Once he learns to be a running back, oh man, he's gonna be a force.
Yeah, he hits it like he's a linebacker. I mean,
right?
He sees it, he runs it, and he's a brute. But
yeah,
man, you gotta be like a Italian sports car. You know what I mean? Like as soon as you get there, you gotta dip, and then no one to come back out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's getting looks FBS wise on both sides of the ball. He had a great camp season, so we'll be talking about this guy, on signing day in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Let's go to our next selection now. Another big fella this week that we are highlighting, Romeo Tauaa.
Romeo, I'm sorry if we messed his name up. This was sent to me. First, I want to give a shout out. Got to give a shout out to my guy, Greg Marcus.
Absolutely.
He's down in the Killeen area, and he's been sending me a couple kids, and this is one that I definitely had to put on the scouts radar. Kid is 6'3", 265-pound old lineman. He's over at Harker Heights, so he's over there with Ray Sean and them over there, just causing havoc. But when I tell you, man, this young man, the quick movement that he has off the ball. He has great leverage. His hip sync, and he gets a push right off the line, man. This guy is technically sound at his position. Right now they had him playing, he played right tackle. Okay, he has above average speed, which makes him a pulling lineman and able to get to the linebackers. His hand placement, it's just so many things. If you look at his film, go take a look at this guy's film and look at how nasty he is with it. Oh my goodness. He's so fast that he's on the defensive lineman so quick. Then he goes to the second level. He's on that lineman. He's on that linebacker. And you look up 15, 20 yards down the field, he's still blocking. I was so impressed with this kid. I'm telling you, this is definitely one that belongs on the scouts radar. He belongs here, and that's why we're bringing this out.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly. That's what the scouts radar is for. We got some of the guys that, they're going to be on there, which is where we begin the mega list with. But this is the kind of guy that you want to spotlight so that he can get that exposure. Now, he's probably going to jump inside at the next level. He'll project to probably a guard with that type of pulling. I mean, you could run a quick trap with him like that. But, we've been talking about breakfast food the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to flip the script a little bit. He's handing out flapjacks instead of pancakes. Yeah. This dude is on it. I mean, he's really, he's served up with butter and flakes and everything. You can put bananas on his plate and he going to eat.
Look, so, he has some chocolate chips in there.
Some chocolate chips, man.
Sweet with it. Whatever. Yeah, that's sweet.
Woo. And he's a finisher. He finishes off his blocks. And those are the things that you're looking for a next level interior lineman. Somebody's going to get a steal with this one. Shout out to Greg Marcus. I'm familiar with him on social media. He sends and tags me in a lot of stuff as well. This was a great one. This is a great pickup. College coaches, you might want to get start knocking on Harker High's door. When you get to talking to Rashawn, this is who's blocking for him. He's a role grader. He's definitely deserved to be on the scouts radar this week.
Absolutely. I think we can all agree. I mean, Greg has been helping us out a lot. He's dropping us film. Constantly promoting his athletes. So that's definitely one that the Central Texas athletes have in their book, man. He's a good guy. He's been, like I said, he's constantly keeping an eye out. And once the same thing for these kids that we do, get that free education. That's really what it's about. Let football be that vehicle to get you there, right? Everything that you guys said about Tauaa is spot on. But what I'd like to see him kind of focus on as he transitions to the next level, he's a brute, right? He's athletic. We talk about all those things. It's what he does with his hands that's going to make a difference for him. And what I mean by that is if he's attacking at that first level, getting ready to take it to the next level, and depending on what side that ball is going to run to, his ability to lock in and then turn his defender where he wants him. That's the only thing that he's lacking right now is because what he does is he's so strong. He just punches that shoulder and the kid's going that way. But imagine, not just with the punch, but he's able to punch, lock, and then twist. He's able to take him any which direction he wants. And that's the one thing I need him to work on a little bit more is in the trenches, control the shoulders where you want them, and then you own the guy. That's a great pick. I mean, that's exactly what we're here for. That's a great pick.
And the thing about that also with Romeo, man, we said he's athletic, but I'm sorry, man, for a guy 6'3", 265 to move as fast as this kid does, man, that is just impressive, man. That is impressive.
Well, you guys mentioned a couple words that I want to use for our next selection. A steal and a great pick. I think we can all agree on this one. And this is a kid that
Who is
really,
it? Who is it?
Jett Huff, College Station.
Oh, my God. All right,
Jett,
y'all know, if y'all know anything, y'all know how excited we are to hear Jett Huff's name, man. Go ahead, Ben.
Oh, my goodness. I ain't going to steal your thunder. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Leadership is just what stands out to me. And, you're a quarterback. You're supposed to be a leader. This kid, man, when he talks, people listen. And that's something that Mike pointed out about him before, but it was really evident to me during 7-on-7 season. But seeing how he has translated into Friday nights, I mean, he was great the last couple of years. But this year they are on a mission down there in College Station. That team I would not want to be playing. Just the way they run their offense, he is a perfect fit for that offense. The no-huddle offense, hurry-up offense. And I think he has all the intangibles that you look for in a quarterback. Sharp decision making, doesn't make bad throws. Every throw is precise, it's accurate, and it seems like he's, just kind of setting things up for later on in the game. That's what his offense is designed to do. But the leadership is what stands out to me, man. There's so many things you can talk about, but the leadership is what I would harp on with him.
I think all of us kind of want to jump in and say something right off the bat with this kid. Like you said, his leadership, his football IQ is crazy, right? His confidence level is crazy. And the thing about being a true leader is you have to know when to lead, you got to know when to follow, and you got to know when to be part of the team. And he knows exactly when to pull that card in each series. So the thing about him is whatever confidence that he has in that game, however he feels in that game, it feeds to his team. And you see that. 7-on-7 or regular gridiron ball, it's the same thing. It's a great selection. Huge fan of Jett.
This is one of those picks where you throw out the measurables and look at the overall talent. Like being said, leadership. I'll harp on the 7-on-7 circuit. It's one of the only teams that the coach is not on the field. Everybody else, coaches in the huddle, they on the field, they running guys on and off. Not that they don't do it well, but C-Stat, they're a machine. We've seen them run the table this spring and summer in the 7-on-7 ranks. And, they're one of the best teams. They made it to the national championship. I haven't had a chance to see him on the field yet. I have watched a lot of film on him. I interviewed him a couple times and talked to him, of course. C-Stat has got one of the best players probably to come through College Station, that high school, in Jett Huff. A leader, just a flat-out baller. You know what I mean? Like Johnny Manziel-ish type of bravado and just overall play. These are the type of guys that have a chip on their shoulder when they're undersized and everybody tells them they're too small. I don't care what level he plays at, he's going to be a winner. Coaches, you need to get on this guy if you don't have him already on your radar. Again, don't look at his measurables. Look at what he's doing on the field, the leadership. If you bring Jett Huff into your program elevates that much just by him stepping on the field with your guys, stepping in the weight room, because he's going to outwork you. He's one of those guys, if you bloody his nose in a fight, he gonna find a way to win. Those are the type of guys you want to go to battle with. It's Jett Huff.
I'm speaking right at the camera. Jett, no, I'm looking at him. Jett, I'm looking at you, right, Jett? Everything that these gentlemen have said is absolutely spot on about Jett. We talk about his leadership. We talk about the intangibles on how he makes his team better. A couple things I want to throw in about Jett is coaches, whoever gets this coach, if he fits your system has now been elevated. He's not going to play in every system. That's apparent. We understand that. He can play in the system, though, because his IQ is just that good. Jett plays the game as if he's 6'3", when Jett may be 5'10". His progressions, he will go 1, 2, 3, and back to 1. He knows when he needs to take off and run. He picks up the blitz before it happens. He knows where he's going based on that blitz. It's just so many things about Jett that coaches need to pay attention to and give him a shot. Like you said, the biggest thing, he's a winner. He is definitely a leader. His football IQ is through the roof, and he will definitely outwork anybody that's in his way. Big shout out to Jett. Big shout out to my boy Jett.
Absolutely.
Yeah, quick story real quick. I got the chance to, obviously, just like you guys cover him during 7-on-7 season, and we were at a tournament. I can't remember where it was, maybe Tulsa. But anyways, they were playing a team, and they were just destroying them. And Jett was literally picking kids off the sideline to come into the game and throwing them the ball. And he did this about 4 or 5 plays in a row. The defense knew at this point, anytime a kid came in off the sideline, he was going to get the ball, and he still was 5 for 5. it was kind of funny, kind of cruel at the same time because they were destroying this poor team. But I thought that was really funny. And you see sort of the camaraderie that they have too, because obviously a lot of those guys are very familiar with each other and playing together so long in the year.
He's got a home game this week too that I'm looking into.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they got a home game this week.
At some point, I might come down there at the end of October. He sent me a schedule, so I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Mark, that's where it is. They're playing Magnolia.
Okay.
That's what it was. Okay.
I know we wanted to talk a little bit about games and stuff. I did have a couple kids that I wanted to mention that stood out to me. One is Damien Martinez from Lewisville. Now, this would be a good stat line for an entire game. 21 carries, 255, 5 rushing touchdowns. That was the first half.
Lord.
That was the first half. That was a pretty good game, I would say.
Yeah.
I definitely
not for the other team.
Well, B Spice, I happened to see a little bit of Damien Martinez's performance this past weekend. Believe he's committed to Oregon State. We're talking about another big back, 6'1", but he's probably maybe 215, 220 speed, power, and he got a, what we call it in the backfield, a little wiggle to him. You know what I mean? So, he can definitely run you over, but he can make you break those ankles and shins a little bit in the open field. Big time performance. I do believe he's committed to Oregon State, if I'm not mistaken. He's one of the 9-4 elite guys. Shout out to those guys as well, Coach Dunn, Coach Trey up there. 9-4 elite podcast coming up soon. It was a banger today.
You're just plugging everything in tonight.
Hey, I can't help it. It was a banger today. I plug Scouts. Hey, y'all check out everything this week. I talk about Scouts Radar as well. So
throw that in there.
I have to.
One more guy I wanted to spotlight. I went to the Southlake Carroll Rockwall Heat game. 36-35, Dragons come back from down 18 midway through the third. Great game, a lot of offense in that one. Defense made some plays too, but a kid that stood out to me was actually on special teams. Brody McNew, the Southlake kicker, had multiple touchbacks, and that game actually was decided by special teams. Heath had a couple field goals blocked, including the potential game winner. So I wanted to give Brody a shout out. He's an upperclassman there with Southlake, got a really strong leg, and he did a lot of damage in special teams, particularly keeping the ball away from Jay Fair and Jordan Neighbors, because when those guys get the ball in their hands, they're very explosive. McNew found a way.
Trouble.
Who do you guys want to highlight? I know you got some honorable mentions.
So, B Spice, since you're from Kentucky, you're just getting introduced these first 2 weeks. Give me your thoughts on this. Was a classic Texas high school football battle, and not both sidelines had a lot of Division I talent on it. So just your overall of the atmosphere, it ended up going down to the wire. If you don't know Spiced Up Productions, you had it crispy like Kentucky Fried Chicken on there. So I just want to hear what you think so far the first 2 weeks. You had a banger with that.
Man, I tell you, I was texting some friends. I put together a roster, for both teams, just of who was going where, who do I need to look out for, and stuff like that. And I get going, and I'm on Heath, and I'm like, man, these dudes got 5 kids going D1. I'm like, that is surreal to me. That's commonplace for y'all, but where I'm from, man, we might have 1 kid go D1 every 10 years. I mean, it's rare, and it's seldom that they'll play at that next level, but to have that talent, that's just crazy to me. It was a lot of fun too, as you mentioned, a classic game. But man, the atmosphere, it was crazy. The drill teams, the bands have more kids in the band than probably that I went to school with or that I graduated with. It's crazy, man. It's different down here. It really is. I kind of made the comparison, from covering little small Eastern Kentucky football and making the jump to Texas. It's kind of like going from single A straight to the MLB. You don't really get that time in between. You just jump right in. I mean, it's crazy. It's fun though. I love it.
Well, we're glad you made that jump, brother.
Showtime.
Yeah, man. It's been
y'all
a blessing.
don't know.
Nice. I know y'all got some other kids you want to mention though. So,
man, I got one for you, and I had to jump all the way out in Central Texas for this. Shout out Greg Marcus again for putting this one on me. I had heard about the kid before, but I made sure we went on and followed him from Scouts Radar to MGE. Taurean York. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that know him, but there are some that don't. I'm going to just give you a stat from last week. Last week's game, not this past week. Last week. 11 tackles, 8 solo, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 pass breakup. This past Friday night, 20 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2 fumble recoveries, and a strip sack. When you look at this guy, this young man right here has D1 written all over him. And I know we want to gear our show around giving everybody the attention that they need, right? But when you see a young man like this with this type of talent playing at a linebacker position at Temple High School, y'all need to go take a look at him. Go take a look at his film. Just look at the film from this week, then look at the film I think the huddle he has up there is from the spring. But look at his film so far and look at his stats of what this guy is doing. I'm seeing right now, probably before this season's over with, he'll be well over 100 tackles. Well over 100 tackles. He has a motor on him. He plays the position exactly how it's supposed to be played. And, and I'm getting a little long-winded, but linebackers, when you start looking at linebackers, Mike, some of them, they come downhill like they're supposed to, but you have some that don't know how to shed blocks.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? At a high school level, sometimes they get away with it because they're so athletic and they're so powerful. This kid is both and knows how to shed a blocker. Man,
he's a student of the game. I mean, to be in a position like that, to be as gritty and as tough. So a lot of people who admire or see in the linebacker position, I mean, you got your 10 by 10, right? And what you do in that space, that's your house. To be able to get to where you got from point A to point B to stop that runner and to be able to take on any obstacles that are coming your way, you're multitasking. You're a critical thinker. And for those of you who know that moving into the adult life, right, to be a multitasker and a critical thinker, that's what makes you successful. Doesn't matter what you do for a living. That's what makes you successful. So you put yourself in a high adrenaline position like that at linebacker in the state of Texas. You could even say California for it. It doesn't really matter. But when you're playing ball at that level, to be a critical thinker and a multitasker and to be able to move people out the way while you're still keeping your eyes on what you got to, that's difficult. But to do it at the level he does it and have consistency, that's key. I mean, yeah, everything you guys talk about with this kid.
This young man's real deal. Real deal.
Keep sending him, Greg.
Yeah, another one, man, that you hit on, man, RL, when you sent this to me. He plays with reckless abandon. He doesn't care about his body.
Yeah.
And I say that in a good way because the way Temple uses him in that scheme, he's an A gap and B gap blitzer. And he hits that gap with his hair on fire. That's what we used to call it back in the linebacker room. And then you're talking about taking on blocks. The way you teach the linebacker position, you give him one shoulder to keep that other arm free to where you can shed it. And that's the way he plays. I definitely think that he's got next level talent. He's got the speed, sideline to sideline. And then, he doesn't quit on a play. Watch this tape. This is one of the guys got on the soapbox a little bit about this, recruits, prospects. This guy doesn't take plays off. His motor, like RL said, is constantly going. It's like a 57 shit. And then when you hit it, it's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got his exhaust pipes stay blowing smoke. And that's what he's doing.
Man,
I mean,
you got to play
like
it literally is your last play. Every
Absolutely.
play is your last play.
Absolutely.
So before the play even kicks off, you have to have that mental rep. Then you make the play happen and you do it again and you keep resetting it every time. And I know it's difficult. I get it. We all get it. We've all played. It's difficult to be able to constantly reset and be ready every time. But you know what? If you're the leader on that team, if you're the leader on that defense, you have to, because everybody looks at you, not just your teammates, scouts. Everybody's looking at you for that answer. And you got to be at 100%. There's no half stepping when it comes to it.
I told a player this weekend, I said, when you're playing a game like the other player we were talking about is playing, and he's taking this play off, and he comes out the first series and he just shows out the first two plays, and then the rest he's kind of taking it off. I say, you think about it. What if that scout got caught in traffic and he showed up late? And when he comes out there to see, he sees you taking 5, 6, 7 plays off in a row. You just wasted that man's time, and he finna pack up, go get him a hot dog, go get him a Coke, and he finna hit the road and hit home.
Hot dog with cheese.
That's it. That's it, baby. Hot dog with cheese. Get you some ketchup, some sweet relish on there. Wee.
Hey, that's the actual factuals, like they used to say back in the gap.
That's it, man. I mean, you never know, man. He could show up. He could show up late. He's walking up as you're taking a play off. He's coming out on the field to take a look. He's like, "Hey, where's number 22?" And he sees number 22 just loafing around.
Yep.
Right.
You got to look at it, especially when you have the talent. Everybody sees it, but you're not displaying it on every play.
Yeah.
You should be dominating.
Hard work beats talent on every play.
Especially when talent doesn't want to work hard.
Don't work hard. That's it.
Well, hey, y'all, anyone else you want to highlight or any other thing you want to mention before we close out?
Another one I could throw in there. Mike, do you remember? I have it on the paper, and I did not bring the paper. The kicker from Reagan.
Oh, my goodness. Number 71. I don't remember his name. He didn't have a Twitter. The kid didn't have a Twitter. But, man, let me tell you, the kid got a leg. Oh, my goodness. Accurate.
I'll have to shout him out later because I don't have it. I left the paper in the other room. But, he got the kicker there.
Look, see what happens when you don't have those Twitter?
5 touchbacks. I'll put it like that. 5 touchbacks to where the guy standing on the 5 and just turned and looked at the ball. He wasn't even trying to go get it.
He already hit into the sideline.
A 47-yard field goal and a 31-yard field goal. I will definitely make sure I post that for everybody later.
Okay. Hey, the 47, and his leg didn't even, it wasn't even a full follow through. It was just a kick. I mean, it wasn't, we've seen him follow through. It was effortless.
I'll tag him later, y'all.
Yeah.
Well, I can't tag him because he don't have a Twitter.
Athletes, it's a business page. You have to treat it like this. And I know a lot of parents, and hear me out. I know a lot of parents don't want their kids to have social media for whatever reasons. You see the good, you see the bad. But I'm going to tell you this. Having a social media driven for your recruitment helps across the board.
To edit this. I'll be back.
You have to be able to promote yourself. Raul just took off on us. He probably gonna go find that paper because he really wants to talk about this weekend. I don't blame him. So real talk. One of my favorite athletes to watch over the past couple of years, and I've seen his development from youth ball to where he's at in high school. I don't know if you guys know the name, Carson Green. Carson Green plays for the Reagan Rattlers. He's a running back. And unfortunately, week 1 gameplay, he fractured his leg. So he's out for 4 to 5 weeks. But you could tell that offense missed him greatly. Talking to Carson, like when the players are heading in the locker room at halftime, I got a chance to talk to Carson for a little bit. And you can see where his head's at. Because he's able to break down the situations and the concern items that are happening with the run game in the first half. And he understands the corrections that need to be made. And that's the best part about a running back is to self-reflect and understand what you have to do. Now, I told him, I said, this is where you're a student of the game. You're understanding what's happening because you're not out there. Now go help your teammates and show them and tell them what you see and let them correct themselves. Unfortunately, it still didn't come out with the victory, but I can't wait for this kid to come back. And like I said, it'll be about 4 to 5 weeks. He's only a junior, so he's got a lot of football ahead of him. And when you guys see this kid, he's the real deal. I like this kid, Carson Green. Get better soon.
Carroll, are you back?
No.
Go pour a little Henny. I don't know what he wants to do.
He lost that paper or something, man.
But Put that
Oh
on
man,
your blooper reels, B Spice.
hey, shout out to UTSA though.
Yeah.
UTSA goes
Got
up to the. I
Philly.
mean, they knock out Illinois. That was good job. Matter of fact, look, this for the
there's
family. This
nothing.
is for Rashad.
There has got to be no better feeling than getting paid $1 million to go into someone's house and beat them. I mean, that's got to be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, UTSA has been building something down there for a couple years. I think they had a coaching staff change here a little bit, kind of shook them up a little bit. They got some new facilities down there, and they've really been trying to make an effort. And I think Mike and RL can back this up to try to get some of that homegrown talent to stay home.
Oh, absolutely. They're keeping it home.
Yeah.
They recruit the 2-0. That's one of the biggest things. And I think they call it the triangle of toughness, right? So if you notice, the 2-0 is San Antonio. That's the area code, right? So when you look at 2-0, the athletes that were the 2, the 1, or the 0 is a triangle of toughness, right? That's their homegrown kids. So like Frank Harris at quarterback and Rashad Wisdom at DB were in 0, right? So it's something good to see because you saw it when Coker kind of was building the team, but he was recruiting everywhere, like every coach would, recruiting everywhere. Traylor comes in, got a phenomenal history with the terms of Texas high school football, comes in for UTSA, and it's just bringing it all together. And his energy and vibe, and I love it 100%. I love it.
Well, he was a big-time coach at Gilmer High School, and that's a lot of talent in East Texas. So he has a relationship, being involved with the Texas high school coaches that you need to have in order to be able to walk into a Civil Steele or walk into a Converse Judson or a Harker Heights or a Temple. He's got those relationships with those coaches because he's been in the ranks for a while. And that's important in recruiting. Everything really is about relationships, even in what we do. It's about the relationships that we develop in order to walk into a certain stadium or walk into, a high school practice and they say, hey, well, there's Mike, there's RL, there's Mark, there's Showtime, B Spicer. We know him too now. So, Spice Up Productions, shout out to Spice Up Productions. Don't forget that. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? But, on the real, it's just about harboring those relationships in order to get those kids to the access they need. And, big shout out to them. And also, I think it was South Dakota that took care of UW up there as well, right?
Montana,
my bad. The Grizz. Shout out to Montana and East Tennessee State. I think also went into Vandy.
I don't even think that's.
Oh, they played Vandy. What the heck?
Come on now, no, y'all not gonna do Vandy like that. So no, my guy Ken Seals is the real deal quarterback. They just need to get some more pieces.
Yeah, Ken is, but
yeah, but that's my guy. Y'all not gonna do Vandy like that.
And I went to a thrift store today, and I mean, this must be like an authentic player-worn Vanderbilt jersey. They had it there for like $20, man. I couldn't buy it.
Everybody's trying to get rid of them.
I couldn't buy it. I don't know Vanderbilt. I'm sorry.
Hey, only jersey at Vandy worth anything.
Baseball.
I'm telling you, man. That's my dog. Ken's great. That he's there. He got that because he got the smarts and everything to be there, and he's a baller.
Yeah,
but
he's
Vandy, come on, man.
Yeah,
but
the Commodores got to right the ship. Go ahead.
I got y'all. Matthew Velasquez.
That's what it was. Velasquez.
No, Velasquez. Velasco. Matthew Velasco.
Yeah.
I had to go find him, man, and dig him up, bro.
Yo, Velasco, make a Twitter.
47-yard field goal, bro.
What class is he in?
He is a class of 20. I believe he's 22.
So somebody need to be looking at him. That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Shout out to RL for going back and getting that. That's because somebody might be watching this to need a
I
leg.
just made it real hard on my dog, B Spice. I'm sorry, dog. You work your magic with that, but I had to get that kid a shout.
We're keeping that.
I just straight disappeared. I'm sure.
Hey, well, B Spice, he worked on you getting your angles right now, so you won't get. Yeah. He'll give you that. I think he was more worried about the angles first couple of weeks, right, B Spice?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hey, why are you bringing up old stuff? Oh my goodness.
And I heard y'all talking about UTSA.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Kim Folk.
Oh yeah, in case y'all didn't know, Frank Harris is Rob's cousin.
Okay.
That's my baby cousin right there. Shout out there, Paco.
Hey, y'all also got a kid from up here in the Funk. He's 6'5". They got moved him to DB.
Say what?
UTS.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Fort Worth, Arlington Heights.
Hold on. You say 6'5" moving to DB?
Yeah, he was playing DB last year. He was playing
Yeah.
receiver. He was a top receiver recruit that I gave them.
Moved him to DB, and I do not know the kid's name.
Oh, I know his name, but as I'm having a brain fart. His dad texted me the other week. That's why I'm shouting him out. But he came up in the Little League ranks through Como Lions football, Fort Worth, Arlington Heights, 6'5". But I saw him playing corner last year. I haven't saw UTSA this year. But he's a big corner. But I don't know where they moved him at. He was playing receiver and stuff, but he went down to UTSA and was doing big things for the Road Runners as well.
Where y'all going this week? Ben, where you at this week, dog?
I get to see 5-star receiver Evan Stewart, a former member of Scouts Radar, on the second episode, I believe, as he takes on Prosper Rock Hill, just a second-year program. But they're coming off a 61-0 win. If you're not doing anything Thursday night, tune in sportsgram.net, and then Friday I will be running the camera.
Isn't that quarterback Harrison?
Yes, Harrison Rosar.
That's the Prosper Eagles. This is the Blue
Yes.
Hawks.
This is Rock Hill. It's in the Prosper ISD. But
Gotcha.
B Spice, also check out my guy Keldrick Luster at quarterback.
Okay.
For Frisco Liberty. He was my epic player of the week last year in 2020. I had a chance to get to know him a little bit. He had a little injury towards the end of the year, but Keldrick Luster is a dude at quarterback. So you'll definitely get a chance to see.
Season opener, they won 50-49, I think, and he had like a 6-touchdown game, something like that. One more kid I wanted to give a shout out to, Phoenix Grant from Sherman, had the Hail Mary game-winning touchdown as the game.
How pleasant.
So we saw him in 7-on-7. Wanted to give him some love too.
Shout out Justin Elmore over at Steel too.
Thursday, I'm gonna go check out Mesquite and Grand Prairie. Get to see Savion Red at quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't know if y'all saw some of the Twitter highlights. Shout out to my guy Adam from GP Sports, man. Savion, and I'm going to see my guy Savion Red at QB. He's been doing his thing. They had a tough loss against McKinney Boy 28-21, but I think the Gophers are going to do some big things. And I also want to check out Chance Edwards. He's a quarterback from Mesquite High School. We're talking about a guy 6'3", maybe 210, 215, can sling it. But I want to go see him live. Yeah, he's a 2022.
2022, okay.
And he whips that ball. That
he
dude can
whips
spin.
it. Yeah, he can spin it. He's going to be on a lot of radar. I think he'll start to pick up. He's got some offers, but I mean, we're talking about once he puts up some numbers this year, he's definitely in the 22 class. He's underrated. And then Friday, I think I'm going to go check out DeSoto.
Hey, just to throw this out there, did y'all see the highlights from Cole Wilson and Katie Patel?
I tagged y'all in it. Yeah.
Did y'all see what this dude is doing? Oh my goodness.
He's snatching bodies. And my guy CJ Dumas, shout out to CJ Dumas over there at Paytown. He's balling this year. Absolutely. 2 guys over there that's making Paytown do they're coming to see it. The Big Red Machine, of course, is gonna get all the billing over there in Katy. Tompkins as well, since Jalen Melrose was in the house. Yep, Seth Davis, my guy over there, and Bobby Taylor, BT. But quietly, Paytown's putting together some things. CJ Dumas is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the state that I think should be getting more looks. And shout out to Cole Wilson and those guys over there producing. They're gonna have to make. I'm gonna be going to the H here pretty soon. I'm definitely gonna have to swing over there.
Let us know when you're going. Let us know.
I will.
Exactly. Ain't no swinging. You got to
swing.
Because you're going. That's right. You're going down to the H.
Yes,
so
sir.
Let us know.
Yes,
let us know when you're gonna do that. Let us know.
Okay, I will.
Any closing thoughts, guys, before we sign off?
No, man, I'm good. We're good with it. Appreciate y'all watching. Make sure y'all like, share. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more what we got going on. This is all about y'all. Scouts Radar puts you out in front of the scouts, the coaches' eyes. When they hit us up, we know who to give them.
Yep.
Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
If you watch, make sure you share your film with us as well. We've had a couple people, Greg Marcus, as the guys mentioned, that's done an outstanding job of getting his kids out there. If you are watching, make sure you share your film with us every week to be included on the show. I know we get several of our names from people who actually submit guys in. So make sure you do that.
West Texas especially.
RGV. Don't forget about the RGV too.
Let's go.
All right. Well, for Mike Morris, R.L. Martin, and Marc Henry, I am Ben Spicer. You just watched another episode of the Scout Trailer. See you back next week.